Hello, my friend. This is Clyde. One time only. Hebrews 9:27 and 28 says, just as people are destined to die once and after that to face judgment, so Christ was sacrificed once to take away the sins of many, and he will appear a second time not to bear sin, but to bring salvation to those who are waiting for him. There is something about first. Once there is a first, it cannot change. The first human was Adam. There was no one before him, and no one can change the fact that he is the first. Incidentally, his second son Abel was the first human to die. Tragic circumstances. How did they know that he was dead? What did they do with his body? Who figured out that they would have to bury him? For certain, he was not put in a casket, and the burial was a difficult experience because this is the first time someone is going to be buried. Oh, and there was no neighbors to come over and comfort them. Let us talk a little bit about death, because it has been going on since the earliest days of human history. I once heard a story about someone finding God. This woman, an atheist, was married to a Baptist who was at the time not practicing his religious beliefs. Not long after they got married, they had a baby. Remember now, mom does not believe in God. One day she was nursing her baby, and as she gazed on this beautiful child, she started thinking about the death business, and her own belief system taught her that when someone dies, that's it. There's no such thing as life after death, and that person is never coming back. She was horrified at the thought that this beautiful human nestling in her arms will one day die, and that would be the end. The thought disturbed her, and she began to explore the thought of what happens after death. She stepped outside that one aspect of her belief system that there is no God, and the deeper she went in her search for answers, she found God. She concluded that there is death, and that death is not the end, and the more she found that out is the more she believed that there is a God. Long story short, she became a follower of Jesus, and her husband began to practice his faith again, and they both went on to become involved in a program to tell others about God. The text says that it is people who are destined to die once, and after death there is the judgment. Another translation says, it is appointed for men to die once, but after this the judgment. There are many things in life that we get a second chance to do over. You fail a semester in college and you get a second chance to take those classes, and hopefully you do well the second time around. Someone's marriage fails and end up in a divorce. Down the road, one or both of them remarry. A second chance at marriage. A painter does a very bad job on a building. The owner is not pleased. They talk about it, and the painter gets a second chance to do it over. But in this text, it says that every human gets one chance at living, one chance to be part of a family, one chance at growing up and becoming a professional, one chance to grow old, and one chance to die. In fact, the writer goes further to say that it is a destiny. It is an appointment. It's a weird appointment if you ask me. When I have a doctor's appointment, I know the date and time, and so does the doctor. Or I have an appointment for a meeting with the mayor of the city. We both know the date and time and the venue. Not so with death. This appointment is made by a supreme being, in this case God, and I don't know the date and the time. Why is that so? The second part of the statement gives us a huge clue. The text says that you are destined to die, that it is inevitable, that it is going to happen whether you live healthy or not. Then what? What happens after you have breathed your last breath, after they have pronounced you dead, after they have taken your body to the morgue? Well, listen to this. There is a judgment. What do you mean there is a judgment? The question I raised is, why is it that we don't necessarily know when we're going to die? I believe that God does it that way because during the lifetime, the one time you get to live, you have the opportunity to prepare for the judgment. You see, you don't get a chance to die and come back again. That would be giving you an unfair chance at the judgment. You get one lifetime to prepare for the judgment. That is pretty serious. But God ain't playing. This business of life and death and what happens after is first priority with God. He wants everyone to prepare for the judgment, and even if you don't do what God wants you to do, then that is preparing for the judgment. It is like you have an appointment to appear before a judge to address a civil matter. You can take time to prepare for such a hearing to make sure that the outcome of the meeting will be in your favor. In another 2 weeks, there will be the great Super Bowl, and the Cincinnati Bengals and the Los Angeles Rams will be turning up the heat in preparing to ensure that they come out the champions. They each have one chance in 2022 to be Super Bowl champions. God's message to us is clear. Don't plan on dying and returning on earth again. Death is one time and one time only. But after death is a judgment. And so the wise thing to do, my friend, is to live your one life getting ready for the judgment that follows after the one time that you die. One time only. Get ready for the judgment.